Today we're going over the Askr's Kin Part 4 Tempest Trials event. The boss for this event is a little bit of a spoiler, but it seems like Sharena is getting a promotion. Our Askr trio have never gotten proper promoted classes, which is kinda baffling, especially after Book 6 where Veronica essentially got one. Promoted Lords is also like a Fire Emblem staple, so why they wouldn't capitalize on that in Fae is just kinda dumb in my opinion. That probably played a decent role in why Brave Alphonse and Sharena happened. With this Book 6 Tempest side plot, Sharena has been leading the investigation, which is a nice change of pace for once. I don't know if she's gonna keep this look, but it's a new alt for sure. From her weapon, Sharena has the standard plus 14 stats, up to 25 true damage and 15 flat DR, based on status's effect. She also has good old low speed and defense. Sharena has the same 100% potent follow-up effect as her Brave alt, plus she also retains the extra action for an ally within 3 spaces. The major change is that this Sharena also seems to give the extra action to her support partner, and I assume this won't have a range condition. The support partner aspect makes me assume this isn't a Twined alt, but we'll have to wait and see. If Braver Sharena interests you, she'll probably pop up on the New Heroes banner later this month. Get your orbs ready. Onto the actual Tempest Trials, score the maximum 50,000 points to earn up to 42 orbs, 11,000 feathers, and 80 secret coins. This month you can get Ephemeral 10 Divine Codes along with 1 Light Blessing for Mythic Lyn. Since we also had Emblem Corrin, there is an additional 20 normal 6 Divine Codes. For Secret Seals, we have Speed and Rest Snag and Counter Roar. The reward unit is going to be Halloween Ranulf, who is bringing the full-size candy bars. You can earn a 4-star and 5-star copy, and we'll talk about Ranulf more later on. For Speed and Res Snag 3, it inflicts -6 Speed and Res debuffs after the user is in a movement assist. It only targets the nearest foes within 4 spaces, so it's a bit tough to utilize without extra actions. Luckily, we have gotten a few sources of that. The recent T-Time weapons grant extra actions, and there are new buffing skills like Favor that are actually pretty good. Of course, there's also Emblem Makai's Ring. Snag isn't really a hugely popular skill, but there are at least more tools that can actually take advantage of it now. Next, Counter Roar 3 is a new B skill turned Secret Seal. Reduce damage from the first hit taken by 30%, and unit's next counterattack deals true damage equal to 30% of the original damage dealt prior to reductions. Counter Roar is a Beast and Dragon only skill. The Tier 3 does not have the attack and speed debuffs or the healing portion from the Tier 4. The 30% DR and 30% damage reflection effect are the same though. For some notes, Counter Roar only works for 1 hit, so not the best against Brave hits. The 30% damage reflection effect will not stack with other similar percent reflect abilities. That would be things like Briar Save or Brash Assault 4. Counter Roar will stack just fine with Reflex though, and any of the full damage reflection skills based on damage reduced. With all the damage reflection effects going around, getting Counter Roar as a seal is pretty fun. Units can survive a ridiculous amount of damage nowadays, which in turn means more true damage on the Reflect counterattack. Last new Secret Seal is 9.10, comes from the 99 Squad Assault. Squad A's CU3 grants +3 attack, defense, and res as flat stats. It's the same as Squad A's CA and CK if you want a basic triple stat booster.
Oh, look at this! I'm a pirate captain now! Well, what do you think?
Ranulf finally gets an alt for himself, and the wait might actually have been worth it. Considering the pirate banners featured some Legu's characters, I wouldn't be surprised if this outfit was like a scrapped idea, but hey, it's Halloween, so good excuse to dress up anyway. Halloween Ranulf will be a blue beast cavalier. He has 41 HP, 46 attack, 48 speed, 36 defense, and 24 res. Ranulf has speed and res super boons, very solid offensive stat spread. Ranulf's Nocturnal Fang is pretty damn amazing for a Rock Rail unit. For allies within 3 rows or columns, they get +5 attack and speed, 7 true damage, 7 flat damage reduction, and they get the No Guard offensive tempo effect. For himself, Ranulf gets Kanto remaining +1 with minimum Kanto of 2. He also gets Exerted Specials. If transformed or above 25% HP, Ranulf can get up to +14 to all stats if he has 3 allies within 3 rows or columns. Ranulf will get 20% speed true damage and flat DR, plus the No Guard effect. Last, Ranulf straight off gets Potent. If decreasing the speed roll to follow up by 25 would allow a follow-up attack, then trigger Potent follow X%. If Ranulf doesn't follow up or Brave attack, he gets 80% damage, otherwise it's going to be the weaker 40% Potent follow-up. First off, like some of the banner units, Ranulf has a long-range buffing aura. +5 attack and speed, 7 true damage, and 7 flat DR is great. Not exactly the same stat bump as Setit's Refine, but Ranulf instead passes on No Guard for consistent special charging. I would say even now, No Guard support isn't really that easy to find, and it's a solid effect that is hard to get on some classes like Cavaliers. Now if you want a more supportive unit, Ranulf's got a good base foundation to build upon. Ranulf's personal effects are honestly pretty wild. Usually I would be happy if a free unit got one of Kanto, Slaying, or Potent, but Ranulf's got all three. This isn't like Kanto 1 either, he's got Near Trace 4 Kanto, which is pretty good. Free-to-play slaying weapons are pretty rare, and Ranulf combines that with no guard, which is nice on a Cavalier. On top of these solid speeds getting true damage and flat DR for himself, also getting Potent follow-ups is insane on a Heroic Rail unit. I know Potent has been getting a lot more accessible in the second year since its introduction, but man, to have it on a free unit is something. Ranulf won't be getting any 100% Potent follow-up attacks, but getting the extra hit alone is still great. Even if he's outsped, he might double, and against slower foes, Ranulf will get at least 3 attacks to try and finish the job. Naturally, whenever we get a good Heroic Rail unit, the devs usually give them an interesting skill to make you choose between foddering and merging. Before we get to that, Ranulf has Askr, which isn't particularly amazing for him. He doesn't stack attack or debuff like Freya. I assume it's kinda just here to make getting Gale Force less of a hassle. Ranulf will also come with Speed Tactic. What year is it that we're getting a Tactic skill? It makes sense with his attack and speed buffing weapon, but it's been a long while since tactics have been used for any kind of serious content. If you want to give the team speed buffs, you will need to make sure you only have 2 or fewer of each movement type. Now for his rare skill, Ranulf brings Beast Agility 3, which is incredibly valuable. This skill makes Beast always transform, and if you outspeed, you get no follow-up. Perfectly good skill on its own, but Beast Agility 3 is also the prerequisite to the 2 Tier 4 Bestial Beast skills. Those can also use Beast Follow-up 3, but that one's only on for Mortis. Beast Agility 3 was also not easily available until now. If you plan to merge Ranulf but like Beast Fodder, then it might be a bit costly to get some extra Beast Agility copies. Speaking of merging, the Neutral Nature will give Ranulf plus 1 HP, attack, and defense. If you pick the Speed Super Boom, you're going to get the full plus 4 extra speed. That is enticing for sure. While Ranulf won't be a crazy magic tank, if you did want a more balanced stat spread, you could also go with that Res Super Boom. Among the free-to-play Beast Cavaliers, we have 3 other blue options, and 1 red being last year's Halloween Yarn. That Yarn is also a speedy offensive unit with a decent weapon. Yarn can get a lot of cooldown, but he doesn't have any support perks. Ranulf can serve a more generalist role along with being a faster Cavalier. Now the other faster blue Beast Cavs are New Year's Yarn and Pan. Ranulf is simply more min-maxed for pure attack and speed. We do not get free-to-play Beast units often, so Ranulf will be pretty comfortable as the new top pick for offensive playstyles. If you prefer a more defensive route, then Winter Igniter still stands alone with his massive attack and defense stats. He also has his field buff buffing gimmick, which can be fun to mess around with. For budget builds, Ranulf can add to his support buffs with double tactic buffs, or you can go with the Beast-specific Hones and Fortifies. Ranulf can also stack in-combat drives or spurs. For combat, Beast Agility gives no follow-up, which is great for a fast unit, and Ranulf will always transform, which gives him 30% damage reduction and attack and defense debuffs if the initiator moves 2 spaces. Extra damage reduction is great with his 20% speed flat DR, and of course Ranulf will be able to follow up, plus get his potent hit on slower foes. With Slang, No Guard, and Heavy Blade, Ranulf can also trigger Astra on his follow-up. You can also trigger Gale Force in 2 hits. If you forgo the extra cooldown, then he can still proc 3 cooldown specials like Luna. Ranulf might be able to double proc 2 cooldown specials with his potent hit, but don't expect crazy damage. For A skills, the attack and speed solo or catch is fine, but you can also use speed and defense clash as a budget option. A Clash Sacred Seal would be best for stats as well. If you wanted to try other B skills, Yarn has Beast Sense, which is the dodge B skill. There is also low speed and defense, but I would just keep Beast Agility. For C skills, if you want self-buffing, Ranulf can use Rouse attack and speed. Smoke debuffs can be good for mixed phasing, or you can be a hater with Red Feud. For a fun Sacred Seal, Ranulf can use Desperation. If he gets on lower HP, then he can trigger his regular follow-up and the potent follow-up all together, 3 hits in a row. For premium skills, Ranulf has a lot to choose from, although the beast slot might be a little awkward. Usually, Bestial Agility would be the natural upgrade. You can get 20% speed true damage, speed and defense debuffs, no follow-up, and Kanto. Well, Ranulf already has Kanto. If you instead go with the older Beast Agility 4, Ranulf keeps the guaranteed transformation effect, which Bestial Agility actually loses. Beast Agility 4 has the same speed and defense debuffs with no follow-up, and it still gives 10% speed true damage. The main downside is that Beast Agility 4 is from Ratatosker, who the devs kinda hate, and then we've kinda moved on to Bestial Agility since then. The same logic applies to Beast Assault 4 and Bestial Assault. You may get more true damage, but if you go with Bestial, then Ranulf now has to find a way to transform. You can use Fortune or the Beast Sacred Seal, but this is just a rare case where Ranulf is kinda fine with the older versions of those skills. Moving on, Ranulf having Astra and his cooldown perks seems to set him up for Gale Force. Coincidentally, Halloween Ranulf on the banner comes with a new Gale Force Mist for an added 40% damage reduction. She also can hand over Excel for flat DR, and then the brand new Attack and Speed Bellow. Ranulf can add Attack and Speed Field buffs to his in-combat buffs, and then he gets Bread type cooldown. Adding that to his no guard support is very solid. Pretty much just a perfect setup if you wanted to use Gale Force, although Ranulf is going to need to find some self HP recovery. For other combative skills, Ranulf can use Sly or Flared Sparrow, Wild or Momentum for cooldown, and then the few beast skills like Dark Beast Force or Preempt Screech. He can utilize that new counter War Sacred Seal, and for attuned skills, Low, Sly, or Guard Echo are not bad. If you want to play into Ranulf's support aspects, then there are some fun options. Bellow is the new kid on the block, but Inside Hone and Outcry Doe are both great for buffing. Wave 4 can give Ranulf no follow-up himself, and then give his team speed buffs. With Beast Threaten, Ranulf can inflict -7 defense and Panic. He also gets a times pulse effect. Another cooldown method is Favor. Favor has just left with the Gladiator banner, but hopefully it doesn't stay locked away there. With Movement or Rally Assist, you can give Field buffs, Empathy, and 50% DR Piercing. It also gives the user and the target -1 cooldown without fighting. With Favor and Beast Threatened, Ranulf could charge Nimble Beast. If hit back, he could proc the special again on his potent follow-up. Going back to Favor, it can also give a good amount of true damage. It could be really fun with something like Emblem Makai's Ring. On topic of assist skills, you can pair this type of playstyle with the less common Snag, Link, or Feint Sacred Seals, just more buffing or debuffing methods to choose from. In conclusion, this is a pretty good Tempest Trials, Counter Roar is a fun new seal to try out, and Halloween Ranulf is impressive. They gave him a lot of things free-to-play units don't usually have, and on top of that, Ranulf has some cool support perks that work from long range. If they're so inclined to keep adding more characters from like Shadows, then maybe we'll get more beast-related skills in the future too. Now I wouldn't go so far to say Ranulf would be as good as like Marnie, but this is a very nice, long overdue ult. Personally, I'm definitely going to plus 10 this Ranulf. Not really sure what skills I'm going to give him in the end, but extremely happy with how he turned out. That's all I got to say for this video. Check out the Halloween banner and get your orbs ready for Brave Sharena 2. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.